see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. Get up, catch it, grab it, let 'em see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. I got some stuff coming up that you don't need to miss, and it's a shame that my name you act like don't exist. When you see me coming up, making fuzz, catch my dust, watch me win, pay attention, I'm the one you never mention. While they hating, speculating about that paper, I feature. Burn them eyes, make that fire move on higher. I feature. Bring fame to the name, make them change it. I feature. While they hating, speculate, anticipate that. Get up, catch it, grab it, let them see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. Get up, catch it, grab it, let them see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. Never ever let me in laughing with me like we friends. See, I ain't down with that pay for play throwing Benjamin. Because I work the system, shade the system, play the system, beat the system. Look at all the minds on me, cause I'm making history. I feature. While they hating, speculating about that paper, I feature. Burn them eyes, make that fire move on higher. I feature. Bring fame to the name, make them change it. I feature. While they hate and speculate, anticipate that. Get up, catch it, grab it, let them see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. Get up, catch it, grab it, let them see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. Don't you ever stop doing your thing, don't stop, don't quit. Gotta let me see you go left. Keep on striving, keep on dreaming your dream. Aim high, worldwide, don't ever lose your focus. Don't lose focus. Focus. Get up, catch it, grab it, let them see ya, throw it at 'em. Stand up, do it, be it, never ever worry about 'em. I feature. While they hating, speculating about that paper, I feature. Burn them eyes, make that fire move on higher. I feature. Bring fame to the name, make them change it. I feature. While they hating, speculate, anticipate it. I feature. While they hating, speculating about that paper, I feature. Burn them eyes, make that fire move on higher. I feature. Bring fame to the name, make them change it. I feature. While they hating, speculate, anticipate it. Everybody dance so loud that you can't stop, hard, put your feet on the floor. Ain't nobody fly like you, lift it up, turn around and let it all go. I don't wanna hear it cause you're running into finish, step back on me, don't interrupt. Walking on myself because I'm doing it on purpose and I focus, never ever giving up.
Yeah. Okay.
Big.
This has been a B-Slade production. Yeah, I feature.
Everything discussed on this show originated as public information. That's how preachers do. And my commentary is given about what has been said or done. If you don't want to be discussed, then don't do it in publications. Because once it becomes public, then I can talk about it the way that I want to, and can't nobody control what come up out this here mouth. It can't be bought, and it's not for sale. All right, go ahead and start the show. Go ahead on. All right, and welcome to Larry Live. It is Thursday night. This is not our normal show. Normally, you meet me every Monday at 7 p.m., but tonight there is something that is on my mind. I had a few conversations today, and so I decided to do a show that will raise a question, and I sit in this chair and give answers and commentary concerning it. What I realize is when I'm sitting here running my mouth and I'm talking about stuff, people take away 159 different things. That's just how people are. And although I say some stuff very clearly and turn over there again, folks still don't understand my stance and my point of view when it comes to certain stuff. So what I am going to do tonight, I'm going to stay around this whole question that I'm raising. Why are black ministers still supporting the Plantation Network? For those of you that do not know, for probably now almost a month, we've been covering a story concerning what is professed to be the largest black urban religious television network, and it's called the Word Network. I have coined the term the Plantation Network for 159 different reasons. Number one is that the owner, Kevin Adele, felt as though the comments that he made toward one of his main black ministers was not something that he needed to apologize for, and he told also that same news outlet in Detroit that he didn't need diversity training. And I thought, in my opinion, from the very onset, that this network needed to be boycotted. And I said this in the very beginning. I said that number one, until I had to go up there in 2012 or 13, the few times I went, I always thought it was a black person that was owning the network. Now you can blame that on me because I didn't research. Or you can blame it on this skillful, what I believe to be, and I say this with George Bloomer sitting to my right and Bishop Bernard Jordan sitting to my left. I said, I think that there was some purpose in marketing a certain way so that people would believe that this was a black-owned network. I still believe that. And the Wall Street Journal of 2003, an article that was released, basically said the same thing that I said, and they went even farther to say they felt like he was using the whole race card to get his network on Comcast, AT&T Uverse, and Charter, and some other cable networks. And I agree with them. That's why he partnered with some of our black voices, Al Sharpton, Reverend Jesse Jackson. He also promised 5 preachers that they will get a percentage of the network. Let me tell you who those 5 black preachers are, if I can look in my notes and find them, because I don't keep it on my head. Bishop Andrew Merritt. Type their names in there so that you can know who were the people that were promised 4%. I think I said 5%. 4% of the network. Bishop Andrew Merritt also partnered with Reverend Jesse Jackson and also Al Sharpton to really approach these people about getting this network, this black network, this religious black network onto all of these stations. I mean, they marched all the way to White House. And I told you on the last live that Maxine Waters, all this is alleged because this was actually what I received from a third party that was there in the room at the table. They said that she would not support Kevin Adele and pushing forward and getting onto more networks because she did not see a black body on his board. And according to what she knew about this board and the upper tier of leadership at the Word Network, everybody was white. And you got 147 black workers. So it's really, I can't help but think Plantation with this. It's just what I see. And then using black money, the black dollar, the black talent, the black spirit, black spirituality, African spirituality, because that's tied into our Christian stuff, let's just go ahead and tell the truth because this is what it is. There's a certain way that we deal when it comes to things of this nature. But anyway, so using all of that stuff to be able to make money, and black people are sending their money in. You got a few white faces that are on the network, but it's the white faces that the black folk listen to. And so all this different kind of going, this was looking shady to me. And I said this with George Bloomer sitting beside me. I said, I just don't like, to me, I don't think that all this was just pure and something that he wanted to do for our people, to give us our own station and da. If he wanted to give us our own station, then him and his daddy Frank, 2003, when the Wall Street Journal put all this stuff together, it would not have recorded that those 5 preachers were ripped off of the 4%. Then I did read that later on that there was some kind of negotiation on the back end. But originally, the Wall Street Journal was saying that those 5 preachers, and they were Bishop Andrew Merritt, Bishop Brooke, Bishop Charles E. Ellis, Bishop Wayne T. Jackson, and I think a Bishop Holland. So I'm going to say allegedly because I couldn't confirm that Holland, I may have been listening and missing that. And this is notes I typed up off of memory. Okay, so I do know that these shares and parts, that at least I do have confirmed, I'm still going to say alleged, that Ellis, Bishop Charles Ellis, you saw him on the Preachers of Detroit, and also I think Horace Sheffield, I think they have a share as well. There's a Dave Sheffield that is there. I think he's actually a part, somehow kin to Horace, that actually works there as the head producer, a black man that is there. Now, when I reviewed the entirety of the conversation, there's certain facts that people just miss. And I saw Bishop George Bloomer, he was on Roland Martin's show. I saw Bishop George Bloomer, he was also on Onyx Network, and he was being interviewed by my mentor, Bernard Jordan. I think there's some key things that are just getting lost. Number one, and I said this in the beginning, I was the one that called the boycott. I was the one saying that they need to be boycotted. Then now that's actually happening. And I also was the one that basically said that this started with George Bloomer. And yes, what the owner said was racist, but now this is much bigger. Because now we're seeing how many workers, as opposed to how many white workers. We're seeing how the money is handled at the Word Network, allegedly. This thing is wicked and ungodly. We understand that when it comes to certain things they offer, the Bibles, the prayer shawls, the oils, and things of this nature, that the whole idea and purpose behind it and what they're professing, where it comes from, just is not true. It's all a gimmick to get money and to raise money. It's like an exchange that they're doing with their viewers. And so all of these things for me say boycott. All of these things for me, in addition to him drawing the black face, in addition to him, George Bloomer, through the text that I read, saying over and over, quit, stop, don't send me this racist meme, because this meme has connotations. This meme that this website, Babylon, had put out, I think we do have the meme. The meme that this website put out, don't send me that meme, don't send it to nobody else. This is a problem, this is an issue. So what I want to do is to put things in chronological order for you guys so that you can be clear on what has happened and the reason why that LarryReidLive and most of those that engage with the platform feel that there should be a boycott and every preacher should come off of the network, period. And I have even said that those preachers that are still up there are plantation preachers. Now, this is what I do know. That every preacher that is still being played or aired on the network, that they are not making a decision to stay on the network because of the whole exchange between George Bloomer and the president or the owner of the Word Network. I know that they're not making that decision to stay there just for that. I believe that some of them are making that decision for money purposes, because of exposure purposes. They're able to get in front of an audience that they have no other way of getting in front of. I also believe that some of them are doing it for the financial gain, because there is a split. When they come on the show, they raise money and have you to give these seeds. They're getting a percentage of this back. There is some exchange with the Word Network, and some of them preachers just don't want to give that up. I also know that some of these preachers have not came off the network. Listen, they have not came off the network, even with what they're hearing about the boycott. It's because they do not think that George Bloomer knows is clean. They don't find him credible. They look at George Bloomer or have exchanges with George Bloomers, or feel like they got stories and situations that relates to George Bloomer, and they feel like skinny George Bloomer nose ain't clean himself. Something ain't right. Now, you guys remember me saying in the beginning, I told George as he sat beside me and on other shows that he was the house nigga, meaning that he knew that there were some things as far as on the back end and the business side that weren't proper, but he kept asking the black community to support the Word Network and to give to the ministry. Let me say this as relates to the Word Network, the Plantation Network. I don't know why I keep slipping and saying their real name. First of all, it is not a ministry. It is a business. I want you to type that in there because I want you to make sure that we get this to everybody that is watching. It's not a ministry. It is a business. It is a platform, a vehicle that is being used by some preachers, not all of them, to promote Jesus Christ, to push Jesus, to preach Jesus, and to help folk. But the majority of the preachers, I am going to say, in my opinion, are doing it because they want their black face into all these different countries. They believe it's 90-something million houses, but according to my calculations, because you do know, this is when Maxine Waters said what she said, because they actually wronged Jesse Jackson, I think Bishop Jordan, and a few others on the network. And what ended up happening, Don't be talking to me when I'm doing the show. Shut your mouth. Put the shirt to the up. And wait a minute. I said put the shirt to the up. He's about you too. If you're going to clap back, please clap back in a better way than that. That does not work. Look, just hang up. I'm through talking. Hang up. Hang up. Oh, Lord, what was I saying? God, what was I saying? Oh, no, that ain't what I was saying. You never know the last thing. That ain't what I was saying. No, that's not the last thing. I said that a long time ago. I was actually saying something before you interrupted me. Don't say nothing. You get in my train of thought. I'm trying to do the show. Don't say nothing. Nothing. Oh, Lord have mercy. You distract me. I got to feel like I'm having a conversation. You interrupt me talking about ask you nothing. Okay, anyway. Type that in there. That's what I said. I said type that in there. I can't remember what I told you to type. But what I'm trying to get across to some of these people are up there preaching and whatever for Jesus, but some of them because they want their black face in the whole lot of millions at home. And from what I have came across, he's probably around about 40 million homes that he's really in. And from what I also heard, the goal is to at least raise $1,000 every time they go live. It's really supposed to be like $3,500, something like that, to keep the budget and everything afloat. But if that's on the money that y'all are raising, being on TV, there are clearly not millions of people watching. And when I go over there to y'all live stream, there don't be that many people over there. Like the thing that Bishop Greg Davis had done, that all them 159 different black bodies, and still there weren't but 700, 1,000 people on the live stream. I'm like, okay, that don't make sense to me. If you get me that have 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 sometimes watching me between YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook, Jamal Harrison Bryant, who normally would have about anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 people watching him. Matthew Stevenson, when he go live, about 1,000 watching him. When Karn go live, about 1,000 watching him. So you got all these preachers up here. Now, if you had just us four in one place, you would have at least 10,000 people live stream, called audience will come. So if you got to get 159 black folk, and they still ain't but 1,000 people up there. If I was Kevin Adele, I will be asking everybody some questions, because this is, from a social media standpoint, we are not making any kind of impact. If that was me. That ain't my network. I'm not the Plantation Network. I'm the MBN Network. But that's what I would think. That's what I say. So I don't believe that in those homes, you can't be in millions of homes because there's no response. That don't make no sense. Them numbers is off. So that's dumb to me. Then another thing that we found out as relates to this network, allegedly, is that the oil is not from Israel. There's been coloring has been put in the oil to make it look green, to make it like come from Israel. People are not praying all these days over these biblications that they've been selling. The prayer shawls and different things they're giving out. A lot of this stuff is bought Amazon, Dollar Store, Whole Foods, and you giving $1,000, $500, $100, and they send you that in exchange. I understand it, I get it, but the way that you shop it, if you say like TBN say, for your gift, we're sending you da-da-da. Don't say for your gift, we sending you this, and this is from Israel, and 5 priests and 3 rabbis and sell on top of this for 10 days and consecrated and prayed in tongues. That's the problem that I have. So I have a huge issue with all of this. Why are the black preachers still on the Word Network? Like I raised earlier, some of these preachers are still on the Word Network because they do not believe what they feel as though George Bloomer is not credible. Plain and simple. Okay, fine. Y'all don't believe George Bloomer is credible. But if you have watched this show, you know that LarryReidLive is credible. So after this break, I'm going to come back and tell you everything that I read in the text messages. Because a lot of people think it was just one exchange, but no, these text messages, they happen over an 11-day period. And LarryReidLive, that ain't my last name though, but LarryReidLive read all of them. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So go ahead and, first of all, everybody hit the like, the thumbs up. If you on YouTube, make sure you give the like. If you on Facebook, you got to hit the like, not the thumbs up emoji, but the like, so we can protect this feed. And I'm going to go ahead and tell everything that I know so that you guys can understand why I still am saying that it should be boycotted. And I also want to say I do understand why some of you preachers ain't came off, because you feel like, sort of like what Greg Davis said, it's a personal matter and da-da-da-da-da. I think that's where that comes from. They basically saying, yeah, he said what he said to George Bloomer, but they friends and they were just playing. I saw the whole exchange even before that happened. I saw the 10-day period, and my nose itself also scrolled up just to look and see if there were any nasty pictures sent between them two over some women or something I need to report. You know, and the scam something, and I saw the exchange. So I'm going to tell you that you can bank on what I say. Now, if LRL would tell you, if I said it here and I said I saw it, I synced it. And then sometimes I had to pull the receipt months later and prove it to you. But I'm not going to do that. You're just going to take what I say in Jesus' name, like I do all these lying prophets and preachers. It's been 3 days. You turn around 10 times, still ain't nothing happen. All right, when I come right back, I'm going to tell you everything. Be right back. See you guys.
Hello, I'm Bernard Jordan, your most trusted name in prophecy. Do you have questions about your wealth? How about questions around health? Do you know what your purpose is? Well, I'm here to tell you that 2020 is right around the corner, and I have 2020 vision for you. Remember, you are in the future with Bernard Jordan, and surely the Lord God will do nothing but he revealed his secrets to his servants, the prophets. Are you ready for your prophetic experience?
Are you in need of direction for a decision you have to make? Maybe you're curious about the future. If that's you, the founders of Zoe Ministries and the Company of Prophets are offering you free prophecy. Call 888-831-0434. Don't wait. Call 888-831-0434. Do it today.
Do you know you can still finish this year strong? But you need to remember some things. Health is not something that you have. Health is something that you do. Join me on my Wednesday wellness call so I can teach you some principles that will begin to cause you to finish this year strong. Remember, friend, if you ignore your health, it will go away. I'm Dr. Shema Womack L., the prophetic physician that want to help you to go up, 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 and over the top in your wellness.
Holistic doctor and educator Shema Womack can help you discover how to eat your way to healing, get out of debt, improve your well-being, and live the prosperous life. Join him weekly on Wellness Wednesdays on a live conference call for teaching and a free question and answer session. Wellness Wednesdays with the prophetic physician. Join by dialing 888-601-9625. That's 888-601-9625.
All right, and we are back. Of course, remember, if you need personal prophets direction for your life, hit Zoe Ministries Bishop Jordan up and this team of prophets. And if you need healing in your body and you want to do it through naturopathic, I don't know if I'm saying that right, medicine, then you need to hook up with Dr. Shama. All right, now we're about to go forward. Now, as I said before, I want to start this segment by saying this. Why are these preachers still on the Plantation Network? That is the word network, the largest urban whatever lie they've been saying, because it ain't even true. I guess it is true still. Well, no, that wouldn't be true, because I think that the Impact Network, they're black owned, and I think they have more than 40-something million homes that they're in. But I only see the word network being in 40-something million homes. That's all I see from what I saw. Okay, they were, but they ain't no more. I feel like the reason why some of them are on, and I've already covered so many different reasons, but I want to focus today on what I believe to be the reasons why that some ministers are still up there. And I think it's because they do not find George Bloomer credible. Let's just keep it real. And I think I said this before. And I think one of the things I said, well, it's not about, as I begin to uncover stuff, it's not about what went on or what you feel as though as far as the exchange is concerned, the integrity of the exchange. He did send a racist remark or few and means 3 pictures. So that is a whole problem. And I really wish, just put the grid up there, I really wish that we can be like, you know what? Whether I believe Bloomer's story or what, if a white Jew that own a black network disrespect his house nigga, because you know George Bloomer was the house nigga, I don't care what y'all say. He the main one raising up all the money. He was the highest one. Then I'm not going to help that white allegedly racist Jew. I'm not going to give my black money, my black energy, my black support, my black talent, or my black time. That's what I would be saying if I was on a network. Immediately. Another thing, if George Bloomer got me on the network and I'm up there free, if he felt from that exchange with the owner, the racist remark and the other remarks that I'm about to tell you guys now, then I'm going to side with my friend. So for me, whether you find him credible or not, a lot of you guys that's still up there that I believe that you have had and have close ties with George Bloomer, and you're not publicly supporting him, I find you to be a fake friend. And if I was members of your church or a part of your staff, I would not be trusting you and looking at you sideways, because I would not fool up with somebody that's a bad friend. Period. Point blank. That's it. All right. So let me go ahead and tell you what I know. And then I'm going to open up the lines. Go ahead and put that number down now. Number is 646-787-8174. If y'all want to, you can go ahead and get in line. I'm going to take about 10 of you. Keep it at 1 minute. But I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to tell you the whole story. And I'm wondering, this is the reason why. Because, New Birth is still in relationship with the word network, and Jamal is. Charles Ellis show still comes on, and he's actually have a percentage of the network. Sandra Riley, she actually, it seemed like the advertisement for her show just went to a whole nother level. That's Charles Blake, who's the presider over the Kojic Church. This Sunday, the Kojic Church will be using still the word network to publicize and televise their event on their platform. Now, for me, this is very interesting, as I said before, and this is why I put the graphic up about the boycott. Of course, it's a little bit shaded because I used some of the LBGT colors. But still, put the number down there too. What you doing? But still, the email address. But still, I feel as though that if this network or any network of churches or organization knows that the Plantation Network has disrespected a black mind, there should be at least a conversation on both ends. Somebody should be calling Kevin Adele. Somebody should be calling George Bloomers. And everybody need to be showing receipts of whatever story they're saying. And see, this is why I'm on this side of boycotting the network, because I seen receipts. Because if truth be told, and I hate to say this, I don't believe none of y'all preachers, none of y'all. I love my mentor, but when he's saying whatever he say, I still look sideways and check behind. Because what I see doing this show is y'all niggas be lying. Y'all some lying niggas. I said I won't stop saying niggas. Excuse me. I'm going to do the best I can with that, but it's one of my favorite words. Y'all Negroes be lying. Negroes just don't feel right. It don't even give me the same feel. But I'm going to do my best with it. I don't know what's making you lie, but you just lie. So Bloomer's story wasn't enough. Even before I had him on the platform, I was doing some backdoor stuff behind him, checking. I just didn't have the receptacles that was in his phone. But he had sent some stuff to some folks, so I had got some stuff on the back end before I let him come here on the show. So I knew there was some legitimate to what he was saying. But before I come out of my mouth and say boycott a whole network, you guys know I had to have some more receipts. And so I'm going to share with you everything. But on Sunday, the Kojic Church is using the word network. So if you are in the St. Louis area, I want you to send an email to boycottdetails@gmail.com and save this email, because we're going to be using that for some other stuff I think that we should boycott, particularly some churches. Come on in here. And have the picket signs blowed up, the receipts at some of these churches, the actual receipt that prove that that church or that leader or that staff has been lying, covering. Blow it up and pick it with that. Hell no, we won't go. Hell no. Whatever you're going to say. All right. Let me get back to this story. Lord, this is so draining. I'm so tired of dealing with y'all folk and y'all stuff y'all got going on. Yeah, change it. I'm doing the boycott. All right. So when I got the phone out of Bloomer's hand, what I saw, when I held it over, if you got an iPhone, if you slide with your finger to the left while holding the screen, I ain't say put this picture up. I'm done with this picture. Don't put this picture up no more. Slide the picture over with the screen, that time will come up. And then at certain times, the date will pop up. So I count about 11 days that whole exchange with the blackface and the meme, all of that stuff happened over like an 11-day period. Now, if you go watch Roland Martin and Onyx Network, then you will hear Bloomer tell the beginning of this story. But I'm talking about when I had his phone here. The footage, you have it, because I take his phone out his hand and I say, give me this here. And then a little bit after we ended the show, he did not get it back till I was through. And what I saw was this. The conversation started concerning business. George Bloomer's, Skinty George that is, had not been producing at the level that Massa wanted him to produce in 2019. Sit on that just a little bit. Sit down on it. It ain't gonna hurt you. All right, let's sit on that. Because that's how the conversation started. Business. All right? Let me tell you what some of the business was. Takeda Williams. I said Takeda Williams. You do have a picture. I emailed it to you. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Well, she in this picture right there with the blonde hair over there. Was actually in this conversation. Greg Davis. I didn't even let it go. No, it's fine. Let it go. You clicking and see you doing that stuff. Let me do the show. Stop. Finish the stop. That's what I want you to finish stopping. Stop. You are affecting me. I'm the talent on this show. I need you quit clicking. You supposed to be a helper out or not an out of the help. Let me get some water. You worry my nerve. Now you've been doing good. Last show you is pissing me off tonight. Here go. All right. Lord have mercy. Now in this text, there was references to Takeda Williams. I think, don't quote me, because I got this allegedly down here, because I'm going off memorizations. Greg Davis was mentioned in this. Greg Davis is the guy he's right there in the black beside Kimberly Ray. I got her picture up here because according to what I see, she's still on the network. Charles Ellis still on the network. Jamal is still on the network. All these people are still airing on the network. Now, let me say this disclaimer. Just because there are more. But just because they are still coming on the network does not necessarily mean, if their program is playing, that they're actually in agreement with being on the network. Of course, they can call and say, don't take it down. To tell them to take it down. But the way that the word network works is this, allegedly. Because they jacked up them prices and folk found out they wanted all them homes, they were like, forget it. I'm just not going to pay it no more. Allegedly, that's what I heard concerning another bishop that is off, not coming on anymore. Is that for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they ain't made a payment to the word network. They just use their show for content. I know that because, yes, LarryReidLive has been on the show. Yes, in 2011 and 12, I did have a show on the word network. I did. And after I stopped paying and won't do it, they were still showing the stuff, and they still show shows with me up there from what people tell me in the comments. But I ain't got nothing to do with that. I guess once you go up there and the paper that you sign, I guess they really own whatever you do on the network. They can show it over and over to a guy. But it wasn't until 2013, 14 when I realized this was not owned by a black man. But whatever. So anyway, and in this text, Kevin Adele said allegedly, George, you are my highest earning act. You are my highest earning program. You come on 3 times on the network. You are the bishop of the network, but you're getting too big for your britches because you've been going up out of here all 2019, and I see you running all over these different countries, preaching and preaching and preaching, and you ain't been here at the Word Network. And the 3 times you came here, you ain't halfway raised no money. And Takita Williams with her, somebody tell me in the comments, was she doing prayer shawls or some package she was offering for a seed that people bring in? But whatever it was, she raised $25,000 either in a month or on a show or in a week or so far that year. But Adele was comparing it to Bloomers. And he began to read off some of the other people and what they have done, you know. And he said, your show done X amount, I think it was $6,000. I think I'm going off memory. He said that you usually do way more than this. What is going on? You need to da. And George was like, look, I had not been there on the show but 3 times this year. My people, see, this is the conversation. This is what got me. Because the conversation started with my people, because Bloomer was referring to black folk. And Adele was talking as he was talking. And he was like, we have to have our pastors, we have to see them consistently. My people are not going to respond if they're not consistently seeing my face. I haven't done a Friday night show. I haven't been there, and I don't know how long. So that is the reason why. If I start doing it more, then you'll see that turn around. You know, just a business conversation. And mind you, I scrolled up prior to that, see if I seen in the pictures or exchanges or whatever. And I saw that it was pretty much Adele send George a message, he do 2 or 3 or a sentence back. And that was their exchange. So that's how come I know the story that he was telling Roland Martin and on Onyx News was true, that he was not in the culture of the Word Network. And his dealings with Kevin Adele was just when he was there, you know, the whole laughing, talking, you know, that kind of dealing, you know, and a little bit through text, but he never went to the company parties. He never went to the Christmas parties and things of that nature. So that's how come I knew that was the truth. Maya, I'm not going to go off just what any of these preachers say, because I just about feel like Kaya when she said you can't trust no preacher. You don't have to get it there and tell them parables that Jesus told. You know, all them were lies that Jesus would tell. None of that true. They were parables, stories he made up for them to understand the kingdom, get revelation of the kingdom. So Jesus tell his lies in the biblications for something positive. And a lot of times these preachers be out there lying, telling these testimonies about their folk getting them big checks, and they all be a lie. Just to stir up your faith to believe positive in God. I don't. It worked. So you always got to check. So I just that's why I scrolled up and tried to just get context. Because I want to be sure before I get it on my platform. Because I know that all of y'all preachers that be calling me in these offices, if I said their name, y'all won't believe who called. Yes, LarryLive. Because they see power. They see platform. So they want to connect with me in hopes that they can benefit from the platform, or that I don't ever use the power of this platform against them. But what these niggas did not know, you cannot be my bestest of friend, or you cannot give me money to make me then do what I don't feel is integral or proper for me to do. It's not going to happen. So all of you that be calling me and text me, you won't calling me and text me and connected with me before LarryLive, all y'all gospel artists and all y'all gospel preachers and all, even some of you secular ones. From Love and Hip Hop and all the other places. Don't be texting me every once in a while, seeing how I'm doing. No, you ain't. In front of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't now. If you ain't, now granted you ain't known me before then, so your relationship might be real. But I'm talking about those of you that's trying to connect me just in case. Larry, can you just tell your audience that I didn't know? I'm gonna get in here and say what I think. I ain't gonna kill you, but I'm gonna say what I think. So I had to go up in them comments to see, to get the context before I come up here and commentate. And so Takita weighed $25,000. All this alleged, I can't remember the numbers. $25,000. Somebody said, he said Jesus lied. Nigga, what the hell? That's what I said. They were parables. I'm not making up nothing. But parables are fake stories. Learn your biblications. Who were that? Larry, you're wrong. Jesus did not tell lies. Yes, he did. And Abraham was a liar too, and God told him to lie. In fact, God asked for a prophet to tell a lie and talk to a demon called the spirit of lying to go in the mouth of the prophet to prophesy a lie. Now, see, if that messes with your theology and your relationship with God and your God concept, that's not my fault. That's the biblications. I ain't making that up. Let me drink this water while you get clarity.
Someone said, I don't understand why you think everyone should boycott because you are.
First of all, Larry not boycotting nothing. I call for the boycott. You won't find me carrying no sign. Larry is not boycott. I don't know if y'all heard what Kendall said. Somebody said, why are you calling for the boycott? Don't come in here asking questions. You ain't watched the whole thing. Shut up, sit down, listen, just like church. Shut up and listen. You catch up, or you after it's over, you go back and rewind. Oh, Lord. All right. Y'all do know that when I'm fussing back and forth with Kendall, it's just conjecture, right? Well, not conjecture. It's just play. Yeah, so it's not, don't even think I'm really hard to work with, because just ask Vincent Buddha that worked with me how many years since Jesus was a baby? I'm a joy to work with. I will tell the truth though. I work real quick, so if you don't move fast, I will get you. Yeah, but this is just.
Yeah, and you move too fast, you still could.
What'd you say?
You move too fast, you still could.
Well, I pay well. Nancy, do I pay well? Mm-hmm. I can't hear you. You ain't loud on that part.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Do I treat nice? I don't want to hear that.
Treat nice?
I'm talking about outside of this.
Yes.
Do I buy gifts at certain times of the year?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's all I want to check. That's all I want to check that. Okay, that's so y'all know. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. All right, now let's get back to it. So, somebody said an illustration is still fake if it didn't happen. Y'all must be going in the comments really getting these folk that feel like I'm trying to make Jesus out to be a lie. Somebody said you're going too far. The Bible said Jesus didn't lie. The Bible said he knew no sin. Oh, I'm going to tell you this. And in that same Bible that you study, you find out these were parables. This stuff ain't really happened, but he was trying to teach them about the kingdom. It's just like what they used to tell us about, what were them stories, them fables. Ain't that what they call? Fables. To teach us life lessons. Y'all get mad at me. I can't help you not educated. That's not my fault. I went to school. All right. So then, as I was going through the thing, he said, Takeda, I think it was $25,000 allegedly. I can't remember. He said, you done $6,000 at da-da-da-da. And so he began, him and George at this space began to have a boss and employee conversation, what it looked like to me. But it seemed as though in their relationship, they were dealing more like partners as opposed to boss and employee. Catch me through here now. This is important. Let me say that again. In the exchange, it felt like that it was partners of the word network. And most of us believe that. Most of you believe that. Saw him as the bishop of the word network, really saw it as his platform. But at this part, when he began to go back and forth with George, and George said to him how to get the goal that he wants him to reach, and then he wanted George to reach the goal a certain way and handle it a certain way, this is where this back and forth begin to go in. And I think this is why some of these preachers are still at the word network, because they're only looking at it as something that's going on between two friends. Not Greg, not George. Greg Davis said it was personal. Remember that guy the guy, have I got that? Let me see if I got that so I can play it. Remember the guy at the Word Network, he stood up. Let me see. Have I got that? Yeah, I do have that. Okay, here we go. Listen to this. I'm going to email you this, Nancy, so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Word Net. Put this in there so people know what I'm talking about. Because in this video, Greg Davis says that it's personal. Did you get it? It didn't come through? Okay, this thing moving slow. What's it doing there? Hold on. Nancy. What's wrong with the thing? It ain't came through? Let me try it this way. I think it is. Oh, I see. I sent it from let me do it like this. Word Network. I want y'all to see this. Because you need to see it so that we can. All right, it should be coming. All right, did it come? Reload. Okay, it's taking a little bit of time to come. But in this video that I'm going to show you, Greg Davis, the guy with the white beard, he actually said to the guy that brought up, and like it was sort of like a town hall meeting, asked a question. They talked about racism, and it happened in the Word Network studios, but it happened after the cameras had stopped for the live show, but it was still streaming online. And he said it was personal. So at this part of the conversation between Bloomers and Massa, you see the conversation go for what it seemed like two people partnering in their mind and their heart to reach a common goal, which was to get those black dollars into that network. It going to like a boss and employee type thing. And it was in this exchange where there was problems. Because then Massa began to make comments that, in my opinion, were trigger after trigger after trigger for a black man. I'm not talking about a trigger for boss to employee. At this part of the conversation, it was a trigger for a black man coming from a white man, the things that he was saying. You too big for your britches, and he would begin to talk. It didn't sound like, it was almost like you trying to be a parent versus a boss. And then got into the other exchanges. And I really think, this is what I really think. I really think that Massa realized that he had crossed the line or made the relationship tense in the exchange. And so he began to approach him almost like after that, because this happened over 11 days, you guys. This wasn't all the one exchange. The next exchange, like, who's this preacher coming? Did you check on him? Yeah, he's coming. Which was like how the other exchange was. He's coming, he's going to do this. Say, all right, so that's good you got somebody there. I see you when you get here to the thing. George Bloomer comes to the network. And it's probably where Jamal got mixed up at. I don't know why it's not coming through, Nancy. I don't know. I sent it. I said, I'm thinking this is where he got mixed up at, because he's thinking that he went back to the network after Adele done what he did, and he didn't. He didn't come back and do that. That's not what happened. But in the exchange, it's probably what Adele told him, or either Greg Davis told him, but they didn't see what I saw. Because this is over 11-day period. He goes there, and then Adele comes back up with an inappropriate conversation after he done told him, you know, he was feeling a certain kind of way, and had told him in that exchange prior to him seeing him, look, if you're going to make it like this, let me take a break from the Plantation Network from a while, pull all my shows, because he got 3, pull all my shows off of it, take a little break. No, George got all this stuff. His granddaddy got all this kind of stuff that he got going on. So what ended up happening was in this exchange at the word network, he shows that this picture, show the picture, and uses that meme, the original meme, he uses that picture to then reiterate, I'm your boss. This was so dumb. Oh my God. I'm your boss. You're going to do what I say. Da, da, da. So George is like, bruh, don't show me that number. That ain't funny. They all in the thing, that ain't funny. George leaves. They have an exchange about that. He leaves the word network. Y'all follow me. Come on, listen now. Listen now. He leaves the word network. But Brittany didn't leave then. I see what she said to me. You can't, because of the comment I made about the parables being the lies that Jesus told in the Bible, you can't leave. In fact, let me help you. Let me help you. Where is Brittany? Let me help you so you ain't never got to come back. Let me help you so you never got to come back. Because now you won't be able to see nothing. You're banned. Goodbye. Because they be them kind of folk that get mad. The one thing you say, start reporting your videos. In fact, everybody right now, go like the video so we can combat anybody trying to do that kind of craziness. Okay? Oh, that was over there on Facebook. Let me come over here on YouTube. Is anything going over on YouTube? Moderators, you have all power and authority. That anybody that's taking the focus off of the story to just mute them for the rest of the show. Go ahead and mute them. Hey, you can be upset about it. Mute all of them. Mute. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Thank you. In fact, Phyllis Glenn, you always are a great help in here. So let me make you a moderator so that you can, if I can click on your name, the thing moving so fast. Okay, yeah. And you can help us mute these folk, Phyllis. Thank you. Go ahead and get that Wendy Taylor. Get all of them that's in this, that's taking us off. Mute them so they can't talk. Because they're getting off topic. Now. So, bloomers leave the word network. And then he texts the meme again. Show the meme. And in this conversation, down he's saying some other boss-like things. And Bloomer's like, don't send me this again. This is not good. Don't show this to anyone else. And see, that picks up where the interview picked up. He said, this is not good. Don't do this. This has racist connotations. We're looking like your hoes and you're the pimp. And then he's going to and even you're short. I'm your boss. You're my tattoo from the Fantasy Island. See, that's a whole nother picture. Because he cut and created and sent to George. And George said, this is not funny. Just stop. This is why I was saying that I want to take a break because, I don't know what's going on. This ain't how I like the deal. He said, this is the equivalent of blackface. So then the next thing he says is this. He takes a picture. That's Kevin Adele standing there with one of his white friends, and he paints blackface. So that's where we pick up in the story. Then what happened after that? After we started doing the story, and I called for a boycott, and they took it, and that's this in the Christian Post, News One, everybody done took this story. All the different platforms that people pay attention to. And Detroit interviewed him. He said he didn't need to apologize. Kevin Adele said he didn't need to apologize, and that he did not did not need diversity training. So that just made it worse for me. I'm like, oh, God, what in the world? For real, man? Just apologize. Call the man. But then he had enough nerve to text George Bloomers and say, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Don't call me. Block my name. Forget me. All this other stuff. I'm saying this. And then we blink. And then there's an apology letter where it's called an apology letter. But to me, it was not an apology. It had a line in there that said, I apologize. But this was not an apology letter. And why would there should be an apology letter when really you should have just called George? And from what I heard, there was a few bishops that were trying to get you guys on the phone together, and Adele was the one that didn't want to get on the phone. I did hear that some folks called recently, but now Bloomers can't talk to him because he got a lawsuit against him, or that's coming up, or about to be a lawsuit. Now, what needs to happen now, in my opinion, is that black folk need to come together. Because you remember, when I was covering this story, I interviewed the son of TBN. And I said, now, we ain't never heard with TBN, Daystar, or Inspirational Channel of them having even any problem dealing with diversity. Y'all remember that? He came on and he talked about how Adele's character was and why he ain't there no more. Then I began to interview all these preachers on the back end and past employees that start telling me all of this stuff about the financial things and all. I said, this is corruption from the top to the bottom. It ain't just this exchange with Bloomers. This is bad. And no sooner than I got out of my mouth about TBN, a week later, Kurt Franklin's. I said, Curtis, I said, what in the world? Because I told y'all how this platform operates. What'd I tell y'all? I told y'all. If something comes out on you and your name gets public and I mention your name, if there's anything on your name that is dirty, all of it comes. I just lightly mentioned TBN. And it wasn't a week later. I said, oh my God. So they've been allegedly racist or at least prejudiced and just been doing it in a way to where it won't detect it publicly. But now Kurt Franklin's done came out and said, no, y'all keep cutting what I'm saying. This is why I think boycotting in our community and using it as a check or as a voice or a bullhorn to expose something that is toxic and destroys our dignity as a people, I think you should do it. Those people going down there to boycott at Kojic, I think they should do it. If you're preachers, if you're first ladies and pastors, wear your cleric, your civic attire, going out there, send that email and boycott with them. There are some people that are allied with this boycott I call that are going to reveal themselves that they're allied. And some of you, because you don't see certain names in the forefront of it right now, think it's just going to fizzle away. But this is not going away. In fact, no story that I've ever done, Baby Jakes, Smitty, Willie, the Victor, ain't none of this stuff going away until it's fixed. The moment it's fixed and addressed and acknowledged, we're going on to something else. Because in my opinion, we've already brought the attention to it that needs to be brought and dealt with it and remedy it, and now we're on to something else. But we need to come together. Those of you that are on this network, I hope you can take what I said. You may not like me. You may think I'm not qualified to, I don't know, judge or talk about the church or what. Or you may think that I ain't saved, that I'm living in fornication or living a homosexual lifestyle, or I even saw the other day that I'm supposed to be getting high somewhere in Atlanta. Okay. I don't know where you get any of that stuff from, but so put all of that to the side and just listen to what I'm saying. Check the integrity of my work and what I've said and what I've produced and the outlets that have picked it up and radio outlets that have picked it up and went over my stuff in the courts that support in my favor what I say and do. This is what happened in that text. And I think that we should show the Plantation Network, TBN, Daystar, all of them. Remove our black faces, our black money, and our black talent and come together and strategize what we are going to do. I'm not going to say buy those networks. Jamal said that. I don't think that's the right thing to do. So we're going to give Massa probably $200 million so that he can go and live his best life. Because the reality, TV is fading away anyway. It's the movement, what they say, is not going to be televised. I heard my mentor say that that's because it's going to be streamed. TV is fading anyway. If anybody that works in the industry will tell you it's fading. So paying him to get out of an industry that is already fading, I don't think that's smart. No. Let's not do that. Let's find another, come together. First thing we do is come together. This was not proper. It was not right. So let's just come together. Let's quit fighting each other. Well, what about Bloomer? You don't know how Bloomer is. Bloomer talks out both sides of his mouth. Probably like all the rest of y'all preachers. You probably right. He'll play both sides and be like this with you, just to get what he wanted. Okay, fine. He already done came out and confessed some things that he knew. We getting some confession from him. We ain't getting no confession from none of the rest of these folk. Ooh, I almost said the N-word again. Lord, it's so deep in me. I'm trying my best not to say it. Lord. All right, open up them lines. I want to hear what you got to say. And don't y'all call in here talking about no Jesus thing. But if you do want to call in here and me clarify what I said, I will. But I'm just saying. What you mean? Okay, for those of you that are coming in, let me tell you what I said. I was talking about these people telling lies. And what I was trying to explain was how some people tell a lie for the purpose of deceiving you. Some people tell a lie for the purpose of helping you. Jesus told lies for the purpose of helping. They're called parables. Those are not real stories that really happened. But he was telling those stories to try to teach a lesson. It's just like you watching what old sitcoms used to be. Totally made up, but the whole purpose was to teach you these lessons. So that's all that it is. And I did say Jesus lied. And I said that for the purpose of shocking you into that truth, that those stories weren't real. They won't. They won't. And I could take this a little bit farther and go into the Old Testament and start telling how some of these stories, because I am a learned man. Take that thing down, please. Oh, excuse me. I got to quit fussing at you. Okay, but ain't time. I'm still talking. Oh, Lord, take my distractionaries. There are other parts that are in the Bible that were borrowed from other religions that are older than Christianity in the formation of the biblications. But I dare not say that because y'all really think I'm gonna be crazy. But y'all, it's just, what if I did say that he was lying and saying it in the way to sort of try to put sin on him? Okay. Then I have to pay for that because if you think I would do that, then you should also think that Jesus will get me for trying to put sin on. So let's let it go and listen to the rest of the show because you off topic. You off topic. Get back on topic. Get back on topic. All right. Are you ready? Let's go. Hold on. Gotcha. Where did it go? No. I can't get it. I know, but I can't get it. All right, let's go. Let's go ahead with this here. All right, caller ending in 1907. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Larry? This is Solomon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, pretty good. Talk up best you can, though.
Okay. My bad, man. I got Sprint, so you know how that goes. How you doing? So I just want to say this. You know, being a fellow a brother who's also a Christian, I don't want us to feel like, because the way it's making it seem, and I think this is why a lot of black ministers don't want to follow you and like boycott, is because we kind of making it seem like Bloomer is like the Colin Kaepernick of the Christian community, when it's self-interest that's involved in this as well. So we can't act like its own self-interest is not involved, even though I feel like because you said yourself, like he was like the house Negro for the company for years, and so now it's something that's affecting him. Now we got to jump behind him and do what. Now we want to do what's right, and you know what I'm saying? I can't see that happening because there's a lot of people's money that's involved. Let's just be honest. For black people, the church and entertainment has been our number one ways of making money.
True.
So if you're asking a lot of black pastors to step down or to get off the Word Network or to boycott, you really messing with their money. Let's just be honest. And so you reading us the text message that he sent you, but we're not saying it for ourselves. We're not saying evidence for ourselves of what they really did to this man that affect all of us as black people. You know what I'm saying? So we believe you. I know I believe you because I think you're 100. Like, I think you're a real nigga. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to be 100 with you. But at the end of the day, that's your friend. That's your friend. And sometimes our friends
no, he ain't. Hold on. Let me make this.
He ain't your friend?
No, man. No, sir.
He ain't your friend?
No.
You ain't never been over his house? You ain't never had no tacos?
Nope.
Y'all ain't never had
I
no
heard about him doing that with his friends. But no, sir. No.
Okay.
He's not my
y'all
friend.
Y'all ain't friends. No. Okay, it seems like y'all friends. I'm just being honest.
No.
But if y'all not friends, then that's cool. But like I'm saying, like, you're asking a lot of people to go in their pockets. And, you know, black people not going to go in their pockets. And I can understand why, because it's feeding musicians, it's feeding ministries, it's feeding churches and families. And it's a bigger issue. I feel like black people should boycott this because TBN is racist as well, because it's ran by the Republican Party. And don't nobody want to say nothing about that. We don't want to get into the Republican Party that's running a lot of these ministry outlets, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I would say, like, you kind of got to see where they're coming from and why they don't want to step down, and we need more evidence of why we should really get behind this boycott.
Well,
I'm just being honest.
Okay, some of those text messages I was told, don't quote me on it, that Roland Martin actually put them up. So if you guys want to see some of these text messages or what I'm talking about, I did just receive a transcription.
He ain't that credible neither, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, you know, just I'm gonna say, and they know you ain't gotta apologize. This is my thing. I know that we know each other. Black folk, we know each other, and we know when somebody's faking it and when somebody's sideways. Okay, that is what it is. But somebody has came against our black dignity and have disrespected one of us, and in a way that sort of disrespects us. I think we should be able to put
but
to this.
Why do you wait until it's done to you before you say something? That's what I'm saying.
But remember what he said.
I think the intentions is kind of souring this whole thing.
But this is the thing.
That's all I'm saying.
I forgot to say this. In the text messages before he done those memes, George was telling him, you always putting us against each other, comparing us with this and that. That's not good for us and what we doing. So and this is why I called the boycott, because This white man was putting black minister against black minister when he's the one that is. That for me.
They've been doing that forever. That ain't new.
Okay, but I get that. But the thing is, how come the greater concern isn't us coming together and coming off and going to do something else? I don't know why these preachers feel like they
need. It's not a greater concern until it affects certain people. That's what I'm saying.
But what does that mean?
Like a greater concern until it affects certain people.
But what does that mean?
That means that people will play the house. People want to play the house nigga until it's time for everybody to be free, or until it's time for them to be free. Until then, they don't want nobody free. They want to play their role. They play their role, and then when something affects them, they want us all to fall in line and be like, okay, it's affecting you, so let's all boycott now. I agree.
I thought you were saying.
I agree with the boycott.
I thought you were saying that because it happened to him, now he upset, meaning the black meme and the whole racial thing. Because I asked George, I said, had you ever seen or heard amongst them that he was racist and that he done something racist to somebody else and you were quiet on it? He said, no. If I had it, I would have said something concerning it. That's what he said.
He's a white Jew in a black community. You don't think he was racist when he was born? That ain't nothing new.
But I would think that Jews. I would think that Jews his daddy name is Frank, and I looked at their family. They are wealthy. I think.
Yeah, I know
that they have probably
built on black slave money.
I believe they probably have been able to live up under the banner of being white, but really they're Jews. I would think a show enough practicing Jew would probably be friends with the black community because of what they have been through. But that's just my way.
I agree, but Jews own the most slave ships in slavery. Did you know that? Above everybody, Jews had the most slave. They had the bulk of slave ships. So they got money off of us for years, for generations. But I love you, man, and I'm behind you on the boycott, but we praying for you, bro.
Okay. All right.
All right, dude.
All right. That's a great call. All right, go to the next one. Caller ending in 8758. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Brian calling from Kansas.
Okay.
I just wanted to say, before I go to my main topic, I just want to say I got blocked tonight by Smitty. We know that on the meme that circulating with the cat and the white woman on the left. I put E. Dewey Smith, House of Hope, and then I put LRL on House of Horrors, and he had blocked me after that.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you why he done. A lot of people don't know that on his IG account and his Twitter account, you can block certain names. So if you say my name and some other ladies' names, or mention the name of certain things, I can't say God. I wish I can say. You're automatically blocked. You'll see your comment there, but nobody else can see the comment, or either he'll totally block you. That's why you go over there and it may have like 2,000 likes and 7 comments, because on social media, all these people are saying stuff to him and he's blocking them where you can't see it. So if you go and look over the past few months, that's what you'll see.
Oh yeah, but to answer your original question about why black preachers are, still standing on the word record, it's just simply about the benefits or whatnot. And if they go against the system that they benefit from, then that would mean that they are implicated in all the foolishness that was going on. And that's all I pretty much just got to say, that if they go against the system that they benefit from, it's going to cripple their systems that they got going on in their local assemblies.
Okay. I hear that. I got you. Thanks so much for calling in. And I think I did say that. I think I did say that one of the reasons why some of them are still on the Plantation Network is because of the benefits of money. But some of them are up there, and I want to make sure I'm clear about this tonight, are because they don't find George Bloomer credible. They don't find, although the man may have said, and you heard Jamal say this, the man may have said and done text that won't right, but the fact that they think or know that George Bloomer has said this or done that or operates like this or that, they don't find him credible. And what I'm saying is, okay, you don't find him credible. You may know something that many of us do not know or have some kind of personal experience, or either you just believe in rumors. The thing is, we need to come together because of what this white man has done. And now with Kurt Franklin, what he's saying TBN done, this is a wake up call for our people. That no matter how talented you are, no matter how much money you have, you still a black man, and you'll never be respected more than or over above the contribution that you give to white privilege. So I think this should be a wake-up call for us versus us now taking the opportunity to go over each other with a fine-tooth comb when you know we done been in some ligament. All of us, let's just stand together and get this right here fixed. It's focused on the great, what's most important. And that's what I think anyway. All right, let's take some more calls. Caller ending in 0453. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, my name is Coco, and I'm calling from Louisville, Kentucky. I guess I'm just one of them that finds George Bloomer creditable. George Bloomer has always been the one who has never shied from what he's done in the past. He's always talked about when he got incarcerated, him used to sell dope, him strung out, whatever he's went through, he's always told that. We can't expect him to be a mind reader and say, oh, other people are going through here where I work at on the network, so let's do this. He was the first to speak up about it. Maybe others was going through, but they didn't have the balls or the kahunas to come forth. He came forth and stood his ground, because who he is who he is. And I think most of these preachers that's not backing him, it has something to do with money, but most of it is because they don't particularly like Bloomer. It has nothing to do with whether they find him creditable. This is just a chance for them to say, I don't like you, and this is one time that I'm not going to stick with my brother, blah, blah, blah. But they're going to get it back in the end because, like you said, if you look at the picture, forget if I like you or not. This has to do with our skin. He didn't come against Bloomer because he was Bloomer. He was making a statement against a black man, and you stay in your spot. So that's all I want to say.
You hold on before you hang up, and I want to say this.
Okay.
There was a particular conversation that raised on the show where somebody was, I never said who it was, but was implicating him for something. And just twice. This happened twice, two separate things. Everybody only caught one. And I went directly to him because I have the access and got the other people on the phone and what have you. And both those situations, it proved to me that this is not the type of guy who cares about talking about the past. This is not the type of guy who cares about, well, I ain't going to say I did, or I'm not going to say I did this, was very forthcoming. So that's why I believed him when he told me about this, and I still checked him on the back end and had to get some pick. And then I brought him on the show, and then I seen the feed for myself. I saw that feed went on about 11 days, and then I checked into stuff I wasn't supposed to be looking at, and I was like, "Hey, this happened. This is legit and it's real." So I agree with you when it comes to that.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Larry.
All right, no problem. Thank you for calling in.
Have a good one.
All right, yeah. Caller in at 9952. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, Larry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you real good.
Okay, you know who I am. This is Pastor Jack from California, part of the 7,000 Club with Bishop.
Oh, yeah, I remember you calling in.
I don't know why you stopped using that N-word. You can go ahead and use it all day because as I talked with Bishop Carter, he said that's the root word coming out of Acts 13:1. So maybe you ought to pull that up.
Yeah. Send me what he talking about so I can check behind it. So what you got to say about this?
You know what? I am standing behind the boycott, and I know the Christian Post have posted you and Mitty up there. I've seen it on my Facebook page. So I am supporting the boycott. I'm out here in California. I got another couple ministers who's higher than me. They will be doing some type of letters or whatever they doing. I told them whatever they do, I would sign.
That's
and
good.
they don't got time for it. We would stand up behind what's right. It's the same thing Dr. King been fighting for, and I understand that. Oh, one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
The culture convention going on, you know Charles ain't going to stand up for that. You know Charles going to go with the flow, because if he try to fight, they're going to throw him under the bus. You see what Carter been saying about him? Call him sweet legs.
Yeah, I saw what Carter said about him, but this, let me tell you why I haven't jumped on that story concerning Bishop Blake or some other preachers. Is because I don't have no evidence, and at the same time, when you come to about somebody's sexuality and what they're doing in the bedroom, you need to have some evidence outside of just conjecture, just like I did with the stories that I covered. I had hard, and I mean what I'm saying, hard pin evidence. I mean, I had real. So I'm careful about doing things of that nature. Now we can joke and play all day, because the names that he be calling Bishop Blake is hilarious, But but I just ain't gonna do that. But what I try to do, I try to get some hard evidence before I deal with something. And if I'm gonna deal with something I don't have hard evidence, I'm gonna tell you and keep telling you over and over, because I just want to protect the integrity of the platform, because we've been able to, move stuff at the level of Senate. So I want to keep that. I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I like your platform and everything. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get off here. There was another gentleman. He used to have a platform, but I think I've spoken with him on the phone. Bishop Jonathan Bernard. You probably used to see him on the YouTube. Remember, he put the video up about Keith Jones, and they called him, and he had evidence. I mean, the man was butt naked in there. He had pictures and everything. I said, how did he get caught like this? Then I understand, take the phones out the door.
Yeah. But see, I don't understand. I was telling somebody, I said, look, if you're going to hook up with somebody in 2019, do it at your hotel room or your home. Because if you go into their house, into their hotel room, and even when you go to these massage places, because allegedly, now this is alleged, there's two preachers whose names I called tonight that they got in trouble with one girl that's a masseur, because this particular preacher like to get massages like I do, but he trusted that hoe. He shouldn't have trusted her, because what she did was take pictures of him while he fell asleep naked. But see, if you have it done at your hotel room or at your home, then you can control all that. You say, I'm high profile, I don't really trust you, give me your phone, put it up. If they want to make that money, they're going to put that phone up and put it up on a lock and key so you can go to sleep, slob, or whatever. So that's how they got in trouble, so that's really unfortunate that happened.
Well, yeah, because back in the days, I think that's how they caught Ronnie Lott like that. Didn't they catch him in one of them places? Or somebody they caught like that. Whatever, Ronnie Lott or that Jerry Rice. He was right.
I don't know who that is.
They caught Jerry, played for the 49ers. I think they caught him in one of them places.
Okay.
Red-handed, bucket naked, and he was not in uniform.
Wow.
But okay, Larry, I'm going to let you go, but don't forget, you can say the N-word according to the book of Acts.
Oh, so email me that, because I want to look into that. I want to look into that.
Acts 13:1. That's all. Acts 13:1.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. No problem.
Lord, these folks telling me, they said, Larry, don't tell people how to undumb. Oh, Lord. All right, let's go. Great calls, too, tonight. Call it in at 8621. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Larry. This is Marcus from New Berkeley, Atlanta.
Hey.
Hey. Great show tonight. I kind of knew about the word network 2 years ago. Juanita Bynum actually went to Apostle Wayne T. Jackson's church, which he is the owner of Impact Network. And there she was leaving the network because they didn't allow her to consecrate the prayer shawls like she needed to. And she was told she couldn't really go pray for them. She just needed to do what she needed to do for the camera, and that they wanted to send them out. And she said then that the owner was all about money. So I knew then things wasn't on and up and up. So
You're exactly right.
It's been going on. This has been going on for a while. I didn't know it was gonna come out like this, but it did. So, and if I'm not mistaken, I think one of those preachers that you're talking about with the masseur is Bishop Davis, if I'm not mistaken. Third thing, a lot of people don't like Bloomer because apparently at our interviews for our senior pastor before Pastor Brian got here, they, I guess, asked for different, opinions on other preachers. I guess I'm not sure if Bloomer was trying to get to position as the pastor, but he got a lot of negative reviews. So, I'm thinking like everybody else because they don't really like Bloomer. So, it's definitely interesting. We're going to see where this goes.
Yeah. All right. I ain't going to say nothing about nothing you said. All right. Thanks so much for calling in. All right. I think I have somebody that is on the line that is connected to some of what I am talking about. Let me see. Look for 545 009. Okay, there you go. Let them in. Are you ready for that? All right. If you can hear my voice, I can hear you. I think I am now talking to Apostle W.J. Reid out the third.
Yes, Larry. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very well. Now, just for those of you that are watching and listening to me, I know who this is. He has been very intricate as relates to other boycotts. He's actually one of the organizers for the boycott that's going to be happening on this Sunday. And he has been very intricate in the Detroit area when it comes to fighting for the rights of black people, black organizations, black ministers. And I also know, because I ran across your name a few times as it relates to the Word Network becoming a network. What role did you play in the Word Network becoming a network or trying to get on more cable networks?
Well, the Word Network was in existence, Larry, before I got on. However, I was asked and utilized and even paid to try to keep it on Comcast and to ask people to shut off Comcast if they don't allow Kevin Adele and the Word Network, the Plantation Network, to continue throughout 80 plus 90 million homes.
Okay, let's pause. Wait for a minute. I want y'all to be clear. Y'all heard what he said. The Word Network was already in existence. Oh, so that means you must have came in on after they had wronged Jesse Jackson, Bernard, and some of the rest of them, and they actually got those homes given to the Impact Network that Wayne T. Jackson had to make them get in more millions of homes. Is that correct?
Yes, but to add to that, I was on when he fired Jesse Jackson.
Okay.
I was there then. I was on 910 AM and the Word Network. Yes, sir.
Okay, for those of you watching 910 AM, the Word Network is also a radio station that is owned by Kevin Adele. So let me ask you this. The story that I heard concerning at this time when there was a big campaign and he was paying a whole lot of black preachers and black leaders to speak up for him and go and fight with these cable networks to get the Word Network back on these stations, that he went to the White House and allegedly Maxine Waters made a statement about him not having black bodies on his board. Is that true? Can you verify that?
That is absolutely correct. That is 1,000% correct. We were in a meeting there at the White House. We talked with several senators and Congress leaders to try to get them to come on board to help Kevin Adele and the Plantation Network to stay on and not be kicked off by Comcast, and to even talk to FCC and Comcast and to, so to speak, twist their arms in keeping them on, to use their power and their political position.
So you said you were paid to do this for Kevin Adele.
Oh, yeah.
So y'all were
Yeah.
friends at the time?
We were associates.
Okay, so he wanted to use your black face.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like how we using
And he
George.
wanted to use my, he wanted to use my blackface, my political, I shouldn't say political, my fight as a activist and human rights and civil rights person. I do it all over the world. So he figured that when people Google me, they see what I do. He figured that the leaders there would listen to me like the leaders in Michigan listen to me.
Okay, got it. Okay, I see what he's doing. He said,
But she did say in front of him and everybody there, this wasn't a whisper. She said it to Kevin Adele in front of our face at the table. She said, I find it very hard for me to help you to do anything with the word network when you don't have any black African Americans on your board, or there are no black faces on your board. Why am I fighting for this?
Apostle,
she told him to his face right there in front of me.
Apostle W.J. Reid out the third. Let me tell you what I found out. Oh, Lord Jesus. It was sent to me on today that the word network church, like they used to advertise, is not that. And it's not a nonprofit, and it's actually a for-profit business, and that the board the board consists of Kevin Adele and his lawyer. Kevin Adele is the president, he's the treasurer, and the secretary, and the lawyer is the vice president.
Yes, the only people that speak up for the word network, these plantation preachers and these people who do not care about souls or do not care about the black people like they're supposed to. They rather have $1 over souls and $1 over their black brother and sister. I can name those who are getting paid and getting their pockets padded from Kevin Adele. And some of those are Pastor Jamal Bryant. Some of those are Bishop Charles H. Ellis. And some of those are some of the others who get on the screen and holler and act crazy and fall out for the white man instead of falling out for the black brother or falling out for Jesus, I should say.
Well, hold on a minute. But John J. Maul told us that he don't get paid by the word network.
Really? You believe that?
Nope.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
because
all right.
Check this out. I was told from Kevin Adele that he gives him money, okay? Because he tried, just like I was told he paid Greg Davis, Stephen from Django. Just like I was told he paid the others like Bishop Bloomer. And he tried to get me to do the same thing, and I refused to sell Bibles and fake water and fake oil that come from the dollar store, telling the people that this oil and this water came from Jerusalem. That is a lie from the pit of hell. Everybody needs to walk away from there because God's going to shut him down.
Okay, hold on for a minute. Wait. Apostle W.J. Reid out. Let me breathe. That was a whole lot. Wait a minute. Okay, now hold on. Okay. The caller that called in prior to you said that Juanita Bynum said at Wayne T. Jackson Church when she was over there preaching. Now, y'all, that's the owner of the Impact Network. She said that that Kevin Adele would not let her, because Juanita extra. She like to go pray and roll over on stuff before you get it, and with her and just and put it and just roll over and consecrate all the kind of going on. And he wouldn't let her do that. And because he wouldn't let her do that, she come to the statement saying at Wayne T. Jackson Church that it's all about money. It's really not about doing da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What was the relationship, or if you know, heard anything around there concerning the relationship between her and the network?
Listen, let me tell you something about Prophetess Juanita Bynum. First of all, I have nothing at all bad to say about Prophetess Juanita Bynum. The second thing is, however the Lord uses her to perform her gifts or talents or anointing, just like any other man or woman of God, they're led by God. And that's between them and the Lord. But he called Juanita Bynum, my black sister, a whore. And let me tell you something. Kevin Adele called her a whore. So let me tell you something. Why should black people stay on a plantation network Why should we stay on the place? Because you feel like you have to have your voice heard on a platform as the word network when you know Kevin Adele is no good. Bishop Greg Davis knows Kevin Adele ain't no good. Jamal Bryant knows Kevin Adele is no good. We all know Kevin Adele ain't no good. He fired me because from the word network in 19 because I was helping out sexual harassment victims, and he said that because I wouldn't give him the names so he can go back to Channel 7 and tell the people who were coming against these poor victims, he wanted me to give the names up, and I wouldn't give them up, so he fired me. He is a low-down, dirty, hard taskmaster, demonic massa, and I'm not going to get on my knees for him. And I think that any pastor that gets on the internet or Facebook or some of these people even that are calling in, talking ignorant, don't know what they're talking about, the Bible says, speak that you know and testify what you have seen. If you haven't seen or heard it for yourself, then be quiet and get behind us that seen the Texas, seen this man talk and do things dirty, heard him cuss out preachers and black folk. That's all I'm saying, Larry. You're speaking truth to power, and you know what? What you cannot say, I can say. Hallelujah.
God knows you don't say, well, thank you, Jesus! Thank you, Jesus! Thank you, Jesus! You sent me to a praise or a Baptist fit. Because some of what you said I wanted to say, but I don't be saying on this platform, but you done said it, so I give him praise.
And the word been out about Bishop Greg Davis and Jamal Bryant doing the sister. That ain't no secret. That's old news. Come on, man. Why don't the church stop faking? I'm so tired of these fake prophets, fake prophetess, fake bishops, fake pastors, fake Christians, fake disciples, or whatever you want to call yourself. I'm so tired of these fake folk in the church. Be real. God is looking for real people. He said, now has come the true worshipers, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. These people are not worshiping the Lord. They're worshiping the mighty dollar, and they rather worship mammon than God. And let me tell you something, for those that are black people that are walking around acting like house Negroes and field Negroes. Okay, I can say that because Bishop Greg Davis pulled a move like Stephen on Django. Massa, look, what these niggas doing out here with on these horses? Yeah, I'm saying it. Listen, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for trying to rebuke that prophet race shipment on national TV. First of all, that was church.
Hold on. Let me let them look at that. I'm gonna put you on mute, and I'm gonna want them to look at that. They're gonna see it now. They're gonna see when Greg Davis rebuked the prophet, and then I want you to tell me what you thought about that. Then I'm gonna let you go and let these other people have something to say as it relates to this. And what we're probably gonna do, Apostle Art, WJ Ride Out. We're gonna bring you back probably after the what y'all do in activism and boycott on Sunday, so you can give us an account along with pictures and everything of what happened. We're going to do that next week. But so I'm going to put you on mute, and I'm going to let them. So, in fact, he got to mute himself, right? Okay, no. Okay, so we're going to put you on mute. I'm going to let them see what happened, and then we're going to talk about that when Bishop Greg Davis rebuked Prophet Ray Shipman. All right, let's go.
One of the biggest issues that I have about this topic is the fact that we like to just focus on one particular thing, the end result and what has happened. I don't know if anybody remembers when this whole thing came out. She was at one point dating this guy. So you knew exactly what was happening. But then throughout the court thing, everybody forgot about that. You knew exactly where you were going. You knew exactly what you were doing. And one of the things that now when
I don't know that to be true.
This was in the very beginning.
They were dating. No, but did we find out that was true?
Yes, it was true.
No.
I mean, if we don't know that it's true, I'll pull that.
Just say allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. Now, but one of the other things is the fact that before I even came, there was this big thing that was happening, and I had to figure out, Lord, should I even go, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about coming here. And one of the things that the Lord spoke to me was, are you a prophet in the church? Yes. Are you a prophet at work? Yes. Are you a prophet at church? So then you be a prophet. One of the things that we are supposed to speak about is injustice. I find it very interesting, and God, y'all pray for me. I find it very interesting that we have the ability to talk about this, but we can't talk about the fact that we're at the Word Network and there hasn't been an apology yet regarding some of the other stuff that's been said and done here.
I know I'll probably never get invited back, and I'm sorry. But the ability for us to deal with one thing and not deal with the rest is part of the issue that's happening in the church right now. Y'all pray for me. I'm sorry, Bishop. But the fact of the matter is, if we are going to deal with the racist shooter, then we have to deal with the racist emotional shooter, the ones that come in and allow us to do stuff like this, and then we still don't address it and get a simple apology.
I don't think an apology, and no disrespect to you.
Please speak up.
I don't think an apology needs to be made from the word network. Simply fact, because these are all accusations that were made, and nobody knows the underlying truth of what really took place.
Exactly. You shouldn't speak on something you don't know nothing about.
The fact of the matter is, and I bid you no disrespect, as I drove in, I seen all these people out there boycotting or whatever, and that was the most ignorant thing I could have ever seen in my life. Because nobody knew what happened behind closed doors. Everybody is getting their information.
All right, since we want to deal with this. Hold on.
Can I finish this statement?
No. Hold on. Let me say this. First of all, I think it's very disrespectful to come in somebody else's house and use the platform that we gave you to say anything about a personal matter that's between two people. Now, I've been here 13 years. And so you say if you know me, then you know that I am a fair person. And so if I'm still here, then there's more to it than you know.
Absolutely.
So to use this opportunity to do that is, to me, just, since you did it on here, then I'm going to rebuke over here.
You should have inquired of him and asked him questions before you decided.
People have called me from all over the country. And then, no, hold on. No, it's not. No. But you're on this platform.
You should have asked Bishop
You don't come in another man's platform. It'd be just like I come in your platform and say something out of order in your church. So as a bishop and a senior man,
Yes, sir.
since you want to do it in open, I rebuke you in open.
Yes, sir.
And say to you that you're out of order.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And so it's a personal matter. I love both parties. I've been here. I know both parties. But let me tell you this. It's a personal matter.
Yes, sir.
And it's not racist. It's a personal matter. So you want to say something? I've been waiting to say something publicly. Because if I'm still here,
Right.
if all of the rest of us are still here, Jamal, all of us, and we ain't plantation nothing.
That's right.
Okay? You understand? Here it is. This ain't, let me say it clear. I'm not speaking on the behalf of the Word Network.
For you.
I'm speaking for Greg Davis and my experience. And I preached this Sunday. I said to them, we all miss out on great relationships because we don't get to know people for ourselves.
Absolutely.
What somebody is to somebody else, I don't have that kind of relationship. And so if you don't know everything, then sometimes it's good to be silent. We got to know when to be silent and to be quiet.
That's right.
And this is the reason why some people say to me, why you give them a platform?
That's right.
Because then this is what they do. So, since we want to deal with it, that's Bishop Greg Davis. Where we going?
So we want to talk about Mickey Mouse now and something happened.
Okay, go ahead and put Shipman back on the. Not Shipman. Put Apostle WJ Reid out. He's on the line. Before he says what he thinks concerning this video, I'm gonna say what I think concerning the video. Number one. One of the things that bother me is that Greg Davis made a statement, and that this is a personal issue. And he said it was not a racist issue. But he said that after he said some of us know more and we seen the text. And then he said
90 seconds.
But I don't see how, if he saw the text, he can't see it's a racist issue unless, like I said earlier, he paid attention to all of the stuff that was before and his attention went to the back and forward concerning who raised the money with him and Tequila and all of that stuff. So that could be that. But this is definitely a racist issue. It's not all to the story. But as black people, we should all come together. And another thing, the dude, I don't know who that dude was sitting beside Ray Shipman, but he said
60 seconds.
He said, I saw the boycotting and it was the most stupidest thing I ever seen. Now, my first instinct is, what you mean it's stupid? That is how we went from property to people in this country. So why do you talk, why and get our civil rights? It happened through boycotting. So how come you don't know your black history? Then my second thought was, well, he's probably millennial, so he's probably not even connected to our history. So that's all I have to say. Oh, another thing I say is that I felt like the guy was really asking an authentic question because the conversation was about racism and the whole shooting of the white cop with the black man in his house. Yeah. So I felt like he was really asking a real question, and that question came
10 seconds.
I feel like that question came upon his spirit in that moment. I don't think he was trying to start anything. I don't think he was trying to throw off at anybody. I think it really was just pressing in his heart. He kept grabbing his face and saying, excuse me, this I just got to say it. That's what it seemed like to me. I don't think this man was trying to be mean, negative, facetious, derogatory, or anything. And Greg Davis said, it's my last thing before I give it to you right out to tell us what you think about this. He said that he'd been waiting for the opportunity to speak out. I want to say this to every preacher. You have your own social media. J-Mal don't never wait to speak out. He get up there and speak. You can do that. Number two, you have me. This is a fair platform. Y'all only hear me talk from one side because y'all, oh Lord, I almost said the N-word. Y'all are always scared to speak to me. I would love for Greg Davis, for J. Maul, to come ahead and tell us from your viewpoint so then we can have conversation because that's what we want to have here. Of course, you got to be able to hear different sides, but that's what I want to say today. All right, Apostle W.J. Rideout, the third, for those of you just tuning in, he is the activist that is organizing the boycott on Sunday, and he used to work for the Word Network and a whole lot of stuff he done told you got to go back because I done the Dante. But tell us what you think about this video.
Well, first of all, let me respond with 3 scriptures. The scripture says, if our people, it says, if my people perish for the lack of knowledge. That's one thing. People don't have knowledge, so they should be quiet. The second thing, Jesus said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free or make you free. And that's how people are free, by knowing the truth. And then another verse is, it says, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. So when I look at people like the ignorant brother on the side of Prophet Ray Shipman, trying to shut him up and calling him names and saying all kind of things, it lets me know that he's very unintelligent, because that's how we're here today. The first boycott was the one that allowed us to have freedom in a lot of areas. It wasn't until the late Dr. Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks did what they did. That's why we're here today. That's why we're not drinking from different water fountains. He's talking ignorant. That's why we're not in different schools, and that's why we can live in suburban neighborhoods and drive nice cars and dress nice and work in other places and stay in nice hotels, because of boycotts and protests. So now, back to this part about what Bishop Greg Davis said. I think Bishop Greg Davis needs to be quiet, because he wasn't ready to talk about this. Because if he was, he had time to talk about it. You know, let's be a real preacher. He couldn't say nothing. He got to defend Kevin Adele and the Plantation Network, because Kevin Adele pays him for all the money that comes in on the show. How do I know it? Because Kevin Adele told me. He told me who he pays. He wanted me to be one of those preachers. I refused to do it. So while he was in there rebuking Prophet Ray Shipman, I was out in the rain and the cold doing a boycott in front of the Word Network.
Also, you were out. You were the one. You were with a group of people outside doing a boycott when this was going on.
That's why he brought it up. He said, I see people outside boycotting. That was me and all the people that was out there in the rain, freezing in the cold. Why other people want to come on the show and talk about things. And, every man and woman is entitled to his or her own opinion. But my thing is, speak truth to power. Why is it that black people act like they're in the movie Django, like they're Steven? When it comes down to a black man, we kill each other, and these preachers shoot from the hip. When it comes down to a black person, but they don't shoot from the heart like they should toward one another. But when a white man does something, watch this, if a black man is accused of something, whether it's found to be true or not, our own black people hang them. But when it's a white man is accused of something, that same old house Negro or field Negro, and I know people going to talk about me, but I don't care. That's why I'm a real activist. You defend the white man, you kiss his behind, you get on your knees, and when a black brother sticks you, oh, he did this. When a white man sticks you, you say, oh, that felt good.
Not the prostate.
So we living in the day. Yeah, all that and above, okay? So my point is, listen, every black preacher that's listening, every black male or female preacher, Christian, disciple, whatever you call yourself, just know that I'll be down there protesting Sunday, right in front of the International Church of God in Christ convention, the 112th convention. And you need to come on. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Don't act like you with Larry, you with me, you with Bishop Bloomer, or you with Bishop Bernard Jordan. Come on. Don't talk about it. Be about it. I'm like the young folk. Show me what you're working with.
Show me what you're working with. Thank you.
Will the real prophets stand up?
Will the real prophets
preachers stand up? Will the real Christians stand up? Will the real disciples stand up? That's what I'm asking.
Well,
I really appreciate you, Larry.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard Apostle W.J. Reid out the third that actually worked with Kevin Adele, was sitting there when Maxine Waters said what she said. You got to go back and watch the rest of the show. And he heard some of the other stuff that was said.
Hey, Larry?
Oh, huh?
Larry?
Huh?
I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt you. I forgot to add, he flew me on his personal jet there to Washington to fight for him. He paid me money to fight against Comcast.
How much he gave you?
You heard it. It ain't rumors. 40,000 plus.
Oh, so he paid you a good little piece of lunch money. Lord, I'm bringing you back.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. And y'all pray for me, those that are listening.
God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Callers that are waiting, the show is over. We are done. It is finished. Good God Almighty. Lord have mercy. All right, let me okay, I'm gonna have him back because he's not scared. And we're gonna find out what happened Monday. And I'm gonna have him to speak about what's going on. And I'm gonna put some faces up of some of these preachers and see if he knows some of them and just let them talk. That's exactly what I'm gonna let him do. I think that's what I need to do. All right. I hope you know now why are black ministers still supporting the Plantation Network. We went through all the reasons why. And I'll talk to y'all later. I'm out. Peace.